What if one of the wealthiest countries in the world is actually heading for a quiet collapse? We're talking about Singapore, a city known for its shiny buildings, clean streets, low crime, and strong economy. It is one of the top places on earth to live and work. But behind all that success, something is cracking. Experts now warn that by 2040, Singapore may face significant challenges. The reason is not one big disaster. It is a mix of economic pressure, rising costs, population problems, and a stressed-out society. In this video, we are going to break it all down. Why is Singapore struggling? What is changing so fast that even the government is worried? And most importantly, can this collapse be stopped? Let's start with the first warning sign, the trade lifeline. That's now a noose. Singapore's economy is built on trade. It lacks oil reserves and extensive farmlands. What it does have is location and smart people. That's how it became a global hub, connecting east and west. But that success depends on one thing: smooth international trade. Today, that lifeline is choking. In recent years, countries have started to turn inward. They have raised tariffs, blocked imports, and fought over trade deals. And Singapore is stuck in the middle. In 2025, Singapore's economy grew 3.9% in one quarter. But that number is tricky. In the next quarter, the economy shrank 0.6%. That means if it shrinks again, Singapore will be in a technical recession, having experienced 2 consecutive quarters of decline. That's not common in Singapore. It only happened twice in the last 20 years, once during the 2008 financial crisis and once during COVID-19. But this time, it's different. The world is changing in ways that hit Singapore hard. Because when you depend so heavily on trade, every global argument, every tariff, every blocked shipment hits your bottom line. America's tariff punch. In April 2025, the United States, one of Singapore's biggest partners, slapped a 10% tariff on goods from Singapore. That may not sound huge, but for a country where trade is 3 times bigger than its entire economy, it's a big deal. Even worse, China fought back with its own tariffs. Suddenly, Singapore was caught between 2 giants, the US and China, in a trade war that made everything unpredictable. Businesses in Singapore started to worry. A survey showed that over 1/3 of companies were already hurting. 3/4 expected their profits to fall. Many stopped hiring or put their plans on hold. And it's not just about exports. These tariffs caused a chain reaction. Higher costs, delayed shipments, and lower demand. There was a bit of good news in May 2025. A US court ruled that some of the tariffs were illegal. That gave businesses a little hope, but it's only temporary. Appeals are still going on, and the future is unclear. For a country like Singapore, built on stability and planning, this kind of chaos is dangerous, and the damage doesn't stop there, when everyday life starts to feel the squeeze. You might think this is just about trade and numbers, but regular people in Singapore are now feeling the effects. Let's talk about jobs, shopping, and food. The hotel and tourism industry, once a significant contributor to Singapore's economy, is shrinking. Fewer people are booking rooms. Travel is down. Restaurants and cafes are struggling as well. The food and beverage sector has now reported 4 straight quarters of losses. That's a whole year of falling business. Even retail stores, which received a small boost from vehicle sales, are still struggling. Why? 2 big reasons. People in Singapore are spending less. They're worried about the future. Many are choosing to spend money overseas, especially on travel, where things might feel cheaper or more exciting. It's a tough situation. Businesses can't grow if customers aren't spending. And when businesses don't grow, they stop hiring or even shut down. That's when people lose jobs. It becomes a cycle. Some factories in Singapore were doing well early in the year, not because of strong demand, but because of stockpiling. Companies rushed to ship goods before the tariffs took effect. But once that rush ends, experts warn that output will drop fast. That's not growth. That's fear-driven activity. And fear doesn't last. It only delays the pain. Why Singaporean businesses are in survival mode. So, how are local businesses reacting? A recent survey from the Singapore Business Federation reveals that most companies are preparing for tough times. They're cutting costs, holding back investments, and avoiding new loans. Over half are not hiring. Many are delaying big plans or canceling them completely. The hardest hit are the small and medium businesses. These are the backbone of Singapore's economy, and they are now under massive pressure. The tariffs have made it more costly to get materials. Shipments are late, supplies are inconsistent. For companies that already have tight budgets, these changes are particularly painful. Many firms are now stockpiling goods, hoping to weather future price spikes. Others are just trying to survive from one month to the next. Cash flow, which is the lifeblood of any business, is drying up. Even non-bank lenders, companies that generally provide loans to support small businesses, are seeing fewer applications. That's because people are scared to take risks. Nobody wants more debt in uncertain times. This is how businesses die, not with loud failures, but with slow, quiet struggles. And while the Singapore government is trying to help with subsidies, grants, and job support schemes, the truth is, the storm isn't over. Not the demographic time bomb. Nobody's diffusing Singapore has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. At just 1.1 children per woman, that's significantly below the number needed to maintain a stable population. This means fewer young people entering the workforce and more older people retiring. So, how does Singapore sustain its economy? Immigration, lots of it. But that's creating new problems. Today, nearly a third of Singapore's population isn't made up of citizens. That's a huge number for such a small country. As land becomes insufficient and housing prices skyrocket, locals are feeling increasingly crowded. Tensions are rising between citizens and migrants. Some locals worry their wages are being pushed down or that their future is being traded for short-term fixes. Singapore needs new people to grow, but how do you balance that without breaking the social contract? This is the ticking clock under Singapore's surface, and it's getting louder. The innovation problem Singapore has high-tech everything: smart homes, automated ports, fast internet. But when it comes to innovation, something strange is happening. Singapore, for all its progress, is struggling to produce original ideas. Why? Many blame its strict education system. From a young age, children are rushed into schools based on test results. Pressure is intense. Failure is feared. Success is often defined by high scores rather than creativity. This creates workers who are disciplined, efficient, and smart, but often too scared to take risks or think differently. It's a culture driven by kiasu, the fear of losing. People are motivated not to win, but to avoid falling behind. And in a world where innovation needs bold ideas and fearless minds, that's a problem. Ask yourself this: can you name a global tech brand that came out of Singapore? Hard to think of one, right? Singapore has built a system for survival. But now it must be asked, can that same system lead? Reforms or rearrangements on a sinking ship? To be fair, the government is trying. They have launched Skills Future to reskill older workers. They have introduced grants and job programs for young people. They've even reformed the education system, lightening exams and reducing early streaming. But are these changes enough? Many say no. There is a sense that Singapore is just rearranging furniture on a sinking ship, tweaking around the edges while deeper problems go unaddressed. People are frustrated, wages are tight, homes are expensive, and creativity is suffocated by the fear of failure. You can't fix a broken engine with duct tape. Singapore looks like the future, clean, fast, and efficient. But underneath that surface lie deep cracks, trade disruptions, a shrinking workforce, stressed out citizens, and a system that may no longer fit the world it's in. The question is simple but huge. Can a country built on discipline and control find a way to become creative and flexible? Is Singapore a ticking time bomb or a nation ready to reinvent itself? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and share it with a friend.